Coming up on First at 4, millions in coal severance tax funds are announced for 29 Kentucky counties. And a new law takes effect concerning child abuse advocacy in the Commonwealth.
And continuing to track the potential for a spotty storm or two as we head into the weekend. The very latest on the way as Mountain News First at 4 starts right now.
Dedicated to Eastern and Southern Kentucky, this is WYMT Mountain News First at 4.
Good afternoon, I'm Olivia Calfee. First at 4 in June, an announcement from the Kentucky Governor's Office indicated more than $74 million in coal severance funds for counties across the state. In all, 29 Kentucky counties are due this round of funding, many of those here in eastern Kentucky. In the Big Sandy, officials are eager to put them to good use. Floyd County is one of several in the region receiving more than $2 million during this fiscal year.
We use those funds, to fund our senior citizen centers, our SRO officers in the school, our roads, just different programs, our parks. It goes a long ways towards helping us to plug those holes in our county budgets.
Williams added that following the floods nearly a year ago, county roadways will be a large emphasis with this new round of coal severance funding. We will have more on this tonight at 6. And here is a breakdown of the counties in our area receiving the most money this year from the coal severance tax dollars. Pike receives the most at $7.09 million. Harlan is receiving $5.7 million. Perry receives $3.8 million. Knott will receive $3.4 million. And Leslie $3.08 million. Those numbers are from the Kentucky Governor's Office. A new law has taken effect in Kentucky this month, which changes the way law enforcement and social service agencies communicate with each other about child abuse cases. It also requires agencies under investigation to cooperate with authorities. Kentucky River Children's Advocacy Center is one organization that helps advocate for children. Their executive director says this will help valuable information not get lost.
Law enforcement, DCBS, the therapist that is involved, maybe the victim's advocate, anyone that has anything to do with the cases, it's where we all come together and have case review and discuss the case so that nothing falls, between the cracks.
Carrie says advocating for children is the main priority, and she and other advocates will continue fighting for them.
Well, a warm one out there on our TGIF, but I'll tell you what, most of us are dry out there right now. In fact, just about everybody is. Here's the view from our Pikeville Medical Center camera. 81, the current temperature out there. Plenty of sunshine. Yeah, we have some of that cloudiness, just that filtered sunshine out there, but overall not hurting temperatures much at all. Low 80s in the Kentucky River Valley parts of the Big Sandy, even upper 70s in Wise. Get into the middle and even upper 80s as you head down toward the Cumberland Valley. It's 86 in Manchester and Williamsburg. Same thing Monticello and Jacksboro. 87 Harlan, 88 in Jonesville and in Monticello. So we continue to see rather toasty temperatures. The only 90-degree temperature on the board anywhere out toward the River City. Louisville sits at 91. Pinpoint Doppler right now. We have a couple of downpours there in parts of East Tennessee, Southwest Virginia. They bypassed us. We're in good shape as we head through the rest of the evening. So your forecast first through the next 12 hours, we'll continue to see those temperatures slowly fall into the upper 60s. Olivia, I'll have the latest, though, on when some showers and storms could return, unfortunately in time for the weekend, coming up after this.
Thank you, Evan. Employers in the United States added jobs last month, but growth missed expectations. Officials at the Bureau of Labor Statistics say the U.S. added 209,000 jobs in June. That is lower than May's strong showing and about 16,000 less than economists had predicted.
This is an unemployment rate, 3.6% unemployment. The predictions were that it would not fall below 4%. For years, and it has fallen below that, not just this time, but we've had 17 straight months of an unemployment rate that is under 4%.
Leaders at the Department of Labor indicate this is the lowest monthly gain since December 2020. In South Carolina, a teen who went missing after being picked up by a man they met online was found dead on the side of a rural road this week. Hannah Getz spoke with a family friend who says she took every precaution to protect the 18-year-old and had a gut feeling something was not right.
Promise Edwards tells me she and the victim's mother were good friends growing up. She says many people knew the 18-year-old as McKenna Williamson, but that the teen preferred to be called Jacob, and in the last few weeks had come out as transgender and moved in with Edwards in Lawrence County, South Carolina.
The most peace that I have is knowing that the last month and a half that Jacob was alive, he was allowed to experience things that he had never experienced in his life.
Edwards says Jacob had been talking online for a month and a half with this man, Josh Newton, and wanted to meet in person. She told me she had concerns, so Jacob suggested they download the family locator safety app Life 360 so Edwards could track Jacob.
If your phone goes off at any point in time, I'm going to call the police. We had a whole in-depth conversation for days before this. And all Jacob kept saying was, it'll be fine. He's the sweetest. We're so much alike.
Union County deputies say last Friday evening, Newton picked up Jacob in Lawrence County and drove back to where Newton lived in this trailer just outside Monroe. It's where police say Newton killed Jacob. Evidence markers still line the trailer today. Edwards says she was worried when Jacob's location turned off Friday evening and started calling.
I was just like, don't be angry, I'm worried. And he was like, no, everything's fine. But I'm sorry, I will cut my location on for you. And for me, my peace comes from knowing that he knew that I cared. And I was like, well, turn your location on and I want you to call me first thing in the morning. He was like, okay, I love you.
That was the last time Edwards talked to Jacob before calling the police. On Tuesday, officers found Jacob's body off a rural road in South Carolina, just a few miles from Newton's home. Newton is charged with murder, and his live-in girlfriend, Victoria Smith, is charged with helping after the fact. Edwards says she's holding on to the memories they shared and the stuffed animal Jacob slept with every night.
To think that somebody could take somebody as innocent away, still sleeps with a teddy bear. It is just the worst feeling I could ever feel right now.
Overseas now, the government in Belarus says a military camp that is no longer in use about an hour outside of their capital city could be used to house Russian paramilitary fighters. But for now, the plan to host the Wagner mercenary group is on hold. That from the president of Belarus, Alexander Lukashenko, says it does not depend on him, but on Russian authorities whether the Wagner paramilitary group uses Belarusian facilities. In Ukraine, the discovery of a woman's body this morning in the rubble of a structure increases the death toll from a Thursday missile strike to 10. Rescuers worked pre-dawn and all day to remove the body from the scene, and that this work will complete their search and rescue operation. Ukrainian leaders are blaming Russian airstrikes for the casualties. In Ecuador, all of the people who were trapped after a cable car malfunction have been rescued. Authorities rescued 27 people who had been suspended in gondolas when the service was inoperative, and 47 people who had been left without transportation on top of a mountain. The local mayor has ordered that the operations of the cable cars be closed until investigations have been carried out. A Texas man who was falsely reported missing for 8 years is now reuniting with extended family. Rudy Flores was found sleeping in front of an East Houston church last week, but now one investigator is feeling duped after years of work. Corey Pill has more.
Hiding in plain sight. That's what detectives say Rudy Flores was doing for 8 years. His mother accused of never telling police where her son was, letting everyone believe he was a missing person.
There's a lot of people who put their heart and their soul and their time and their efforts into getting answers when I feel like we've been duped by her the whole time.
Brenda Paradise was a private investigator on this case, working with the nonprofit We Help the Missing. She says volunteers searched through wooded areas, exhausting efforts trying to find Flores.
Some of those resources we have to pay out of our own pockets for. So, as volunteers, we're willing to do that for families of the missing. And that's part of the heartbreak in all this, is that so many resources were just misused.
Paradise says Farias' mother's stories never seem to add up.
I'm lost with this one as to whether, somebody's got it hidden somewhere or whether he just, or whether maybe mom was involved.
Eventually, search efforts were stopped. Farias continued living his life, but as someone else that neighbors knew as Dolph.
We were sitting and talking about jobs. I'm like, my job higher and I can get you on. He like, nah, I'm good. He like, I like my job. I get paid more and I'm getting paid on the table.
Feel like it still doesn't add up.
Farias may no longer be hiding, but details about the past 8 years remain a mystery.
Coming up on First at 4, more extreme heat has been added to the world record. Scientists are taking a close look at yesterday's temperatures.
And sure feels like summer out there. I've got the latest on when you may need to bring the pool parties inside tomorrow coming up.